Hey guys, it is Tristan with Nerdette's NewsStand, and I woke up early this morning knowing these reviews were going to come out, and I wanted to be fair in my judgment when it came to what they were. Now, a lot of times when these embargoes lift, it is show media, right? And I think most of us know that. I think the most fair way to judge a game like this is, of course, going to be by playing it. It was very hard to hunt down the few people that I do trust when it comes to this game and be fair about it without putting my biases first. So, I'm mildly disappointed, but then again, at the same time, there's still hope. So, first off, one thing that was quickly debunked was, I had heard anywhere from 30 to 40 hours for this game. It looks like it's more like 25, which is just fine with me. I have no problem with that because when it came to The Last of Us, it was like 15 hours, they would say, which really took me like 25. So this is going to still be that 35-hour game for me. And I could be wrong there, but even so, what I want to talk about is obviously the shill media, and then I have two reviews in particular that I do want to speak of. One is by Skill Up, and the other is by Blind Gamer. And I love them both for different reasons. And I picked them both specifically for completely different reasons. So there was a lot of reasons why I loved the original game, right? It just wasn't the, gameplay in Zombie World. I loved the Walking Dead comics. Even down to the very last issue, Robert Kirkman is a genius. But this brought that in a weird way to life for me. I didn't like the show. That's just me, though. I don't watch TV. So, I've actually only ever seen like 2 episodes of it. Maybe I should give it a chance. But the main thing for me was the story and was the characters. These characters, no matter who they were or what sex, what anything they were, you could relate to them on some human level. And then there would be like these glimpses of hope, right? These characters in the darkest of times would make you, just smile a little bit. Even if it was only for a second, they still brought that smile to your face. And that's why I love each and every, even if it was just Tess, the way, obviously spoilers for Last of Us 1. I don't know. I mean, I do know some for 2, but I'm not going to talk about them. Even if it was just Tess, the way she selflessly gave herself up and refused to become infected. Everything about this journey in the first game, and I know it's a word that gets thrown around a lot, was a masterpiece. Now, are we looking at that for the second game? Probably not. I mean, probably to an extent, but I do feel like if this wasn't attached to the original game, it probably wouldn't be doing near as well as it was. From what I've heard, for the most part, it is much more of a gritty world, much darker than the original. And the original was pretty dark, let's be real. Like, the original was very brutal. Very matter of fact. It almost had, obviously, because Naughty Dog had that Uncharted feel, right? You would have different parts of the game where you felt like you could have been in a different game, and it worked really well, like when you're following in a subway car. But this game, to me, was something that I really, really enjoyed, and I'm hoping, beyond all hope, that I'm still there with the second one. So, let's talk about the Skill Up review. Now, this is the only truly negative review I can find, and I'll put it in the description. He does go through it, but he also does, and I think this is a big to-do when it comes to this review specifically, say that he didn't like the first game. Not that he didn't like it, he didn't like the gameplay, he didn't like the mechanics, he didn't like the way it went. So for him to like this, preceding game seems very unlikely, and he even compares it to to like The Last Jedi, the new Star Wars movies, and Game of Thrones season 8. So if that tells you anything, it tells you mildly what direction we may be heading, but one bad review compared to, tons of other great ones, I'm not going to let completely, sway me. Obviously, I've already bought the game, but I'm just saying I'm not going to let it worry me too much, but I still want to remain objectionable? That's not the right word. Objective! There we go. About this game. So, let's take a look at the shill media. Now, this is just kind of a compilation of everything. It is sitting at a 96 on Metacritic, and it's very hard to find a review that's not completely, almost nearly 100% positive. And that's great for Naughty Dog. But I also want to know the ins and outs. And I think a lot of this has to do with the spoiler embargo. Most of these reviewers were not allowed to, or not most, all of these reviewers were not allowed to talk about the last half of the game. They were only allowed to show a span of gameplay that, equal to about 3 to 4 hours of gameplay, which in a 25-hour game is not very much, especially when they're not even allowed to name characters that show up in the last half of the game. And I believe you probably, earmuffs if you don't want to hear it, but most of you know I'm talking about Abby in this situation. You know who I'm talking about. And the fact that we're not even getting, is she good? Is she evil? Is she this? Is she that? Now, I saw a lot of the gameplay when it came to her. So, I know a lot of these answers, but I feel like they should probably throw everyone a bone and, give them a little bit more. I feel like this is kind of a concerted effort to maybe, I hate to say this, maybe cover up a little bit of misguidings when it comes to the storyline. Now, another thing Skill Up did say was that there was, a lot of plot holes, but he can't even talk about it because most of it's in the second half of the game. So, unfortunately, I was hoping for a different when it came to these reviews. Now, one thing I do want to talk about that I thought was really the most redeeming thing in the entirety of this is a YouTuber by the name of Blind Gamer, and I will put his link in the description too. He has this whole video on how he can see a little bit, but he's obviously a blind man, right? And he worked with Naughty Dog to help accessibility when it came to this kind of stuff. So when it comes to accessibility, so everyone can play, there is different tools for blind, deaf, and people with motor dysfunction. And to see his reaction, the man cries. and I love it because it's so heartwarming to know that a company didn't, put these gamers, and I'm talking about, blind, deaf, or motor disabled gamers to the back burner. And I think that is truly, a feat that most people kind of push off to the side. And to see them put that, front and center really, really resonates, because I don't know if a lot of people know this. I mean, maybe you do, but not only can I not smell, I haven't been able to smell since 2014, which is not even comparable. I know that. I know it's not comparable to blind or deaf. But not only that, but I suffer from really bad dyslexia. So sometimes these prompts that I've been looking into this morning when it comes to accessibility for this game, just the simple things like the speech to text. It's easier for my brain to register the speech to text and have it read to me than it is to, read it on the screen. And if I read it backwards, I mess up. You see it's very hard to explain why these things work and why these things mean something to somebody. But at the end of the day, when you include that in your game, even if there is a couple plot holes, I can let that go, because that means you care about, obviously, your game. But what it shows me is that you care more about the people that play your game. You care about your customers. And if I had saw this side of Naughty Dog when you were striking down channels, I would have, gone a little bit easier on you. But unfortunately, we didn't see that side. But it definitely is a huge redeemable quality. Those things help, something as simple as myself to somebody that is completely blind, and I absolutely love it. I think it is amazing they put this different accessibility within the game, and I actually love it. So as far as review go, you still, even if with the embargo leaked, lifted, who are you going to trust? Like, really, who are you going to trust? So I think the best way still at this point is, everybody, got a 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10, 10 out of 10. I can only read that so many times. And at this point, it's only a week away. I think I'll just wait to judge and make my own opinion and play it live with you guys. I'm hoping people show up, but we'll have to wait and see for that. I am excited for this game. I still am. But I think, to be fair, I think we are going to see a few things as far as plot goes that are different than the original game, as far as revenge and relatability to the characters and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm definitely excited. I wish we got a little bit more answers today. I was really, really hoping for them. But it doesn't look like we're going to get them for yet another week. Though, my PlayStation did just let me download it, so that's gotta be a good sign. But even so, let me know. I will put links to both of those reviews in the description. And of course, let me know if you're interested in this game, or, if you have no interest whatsoever. And I will see you guys in the next one. Bye-bye. Hey guys, I want to give a huge shout out to my Patreon and subscribe stars. You guys literally make this channel possible. Huge thank you to Cage the Mick, Robert Mick Twiz, Black Knight Fool, Brucey, Chris Z, David L, David Rafford, Jeffrey Allen Carnes, Mighty Balls, Mike Buckner, Maizen Barbosa, Rooskart, Ryan Decker, Robert Hoffman, and Doc Holliday. You guys are absolutely amazing, and thank you so much for all your support. Don't forget on the way out to like as always if you enjoy the content, and hit subscribe. And I will see you in the next one. Bye-bye.